Hey, I guess I'm live here. I'm out at my orchard, and I haven't done one of these in a long time where actually outside doing this. So I wanted to say hello, and being out here has actually um, gotten me thinking about this topic of change. And if you don't know, there's a lot of change going on in my life, and let me see if I can show you what's going on back there. That's the foundation for our new home, and I'm so excited about it because I'm going to actually be able to live here on this land that I really love. And let me show you something else. Since it's a beautiful fall evening, I want to share with you. I'm trying not to make you dizzy. I want to share with you the view back here. Let's see. The view from my sycamore tree is right back here. Hold on. I don't know if you can see how beautiful those, let me get my head out of the way, those fall leaves are, but it's really pretty amazing, and it's really peaceful. So being out here inspires me, it grounds me, and I'm just so psyched to know that I'm going to be living here soon, in a few months. It's so great. And that's something that I wanted to share, but really what I wanted to share was some thoughts about change, and really kind of some musings as a human design projector on what that really means. You know, we're, as projectors, our strategy is to wait for invitations, and when we get those invitations for the big things in life, like geographical moves and wonderful things like that, it's what the correct invitation is really what allows us to have the energy that we need in order to do what it is that we are invited in to do. And on this land, I know that there are some invitations percolating up from the land even, and some things that my husband and I have created here, like our Asian pear orchard. So there's a precursor to that, because I know a lot of you, if you're a projector, a lot of you who are projectors, have this question, especially early on in your human design journey, about when's my invitation going to come? When am I going to get those invitations that bring me into the things where I get to really do what I'm here to do, and really shine? And I want to actually kind of reframe this whole concept of invitations. I'm going to move around so you have better, prettier background. This is the sycamore tree. So let's reframe this sense of, I don't have an invitation, therefore there's something wrong, first of all, because there's not. And if you go over to my YouTube channel, you'll know that I just posted a video about what to do when nothing's happening in your life, or what to do when there's nothing happening. And I talk a little bit more about the waves of energy that come in and out and what that's about. But in terms of being a projector and waiting for invitations, invitations come when you're ready. And being ready has a lot to do with, of course, surrendering. And surrendering is kind of a can have disempowering connotations. So I want to kind of get away from that connotation of disempowerment, and really talk about, or share with you some thoughts about surrendering in a different way. Let's reframe the surrendering to really tap into being in the flow. So invitations come when you're in the flow, when you're really aligned, when your energy is, first of all, vibrant, true to who you are, when you're living true to who you are, and when you're relaxed and receptive. So, you know, being in the flow requires that we take really good care of ourselves, really honor what's best for us, and honor the timing that is required in our lives. So, and this is sort of building on, I'm sort of talking midstream of some thoughts that I've had over the past few days about change and opportunity, and opening up to more abundance and creating more abundance, and how that's related to this phase that a lot of us have as projectors of being in a place of exhaustion and burnout. And those of you who've come to human design later on in your life, those of you who are projectors who come to human design later on in life, have probably come into this body of work and this body of self-understanding because of this recognition of being burnt out and exhausted, and knowing that there must be a different way for you to live your life. I know that I came into human design in that way. I was introduced to human design at the point where I had burned out from a long career in massage therapy, and actually burned out a relationship and burned out a whole lifestyle. So, you know, if anyone knows about burnout, I do. I actually have it in my chart. So, getting back to this idea of being ready and being in the flow. When you're in the flow, that's what allows you to be ready. But in order to be in the flow, you have to really honor yourself and take good care of yourself, and be okay with the timing of how life comes to you. Now, as projectors, you know, we don't move the world. We don't move the Maya, so to speak. We're moved by it. We're moved by life, you know, and we don't have that innate power, or power is probably not the best word. We don't have that innate energy to make things happen on our own. You know, we're designed to dance with other people. We're designed to dance with the forces of the universe and the energies that come through us, through the astrological transits, through the seasons, through the other people in our community and in our life. So the only thing that we really have to do in order to be ready and aligned is to go inside and align. So, you know, there's the world is a busy place, and it's getting busier. And it's almost like those of us who are projectors, the 20 or so percent of us who are projectors, are anchoring. This is how I feel about my life when I get back to the basics of how I live in my body. I feel like I'm anchoring a frequency and a vibration on the planet through my ability to stay aligned and stay inside and stay aligned with my energy, stay aligned with myself, and radiate or project, if you will, the frequency that I contain within me. So when that happens, it's kind of like a dance with surrender, and a dance with others, and a dance with yourself, and those things that need to shift in order for you to feel more of yourself, in order for you to have more access to yourself. When all of that lines up, then the invitation appears, and it doesn't really appear a moment before that. And if you were to somehow be able to push that so that you get an invitation, and most of us as projectors have pushed an invitation, or have pushed it so to try and strong arm invitations or try and strong arm opportunities. And if you've ever tried to do that, you know what that's like. It's, you get into it and you realize that the energy is just not there for what it is that you thought, and that's up here. It's not in here. What it is that you thought that you wanted. So, where am I going with this? In terms of change, in terms of being invited and having the opportunities open up for something more, whether it's a move to a new house or a move to a new geographical area, a big opening or opportunity in your business or a new relationship, you have to be ready. You have to be aligned. And that brings us back to surrender. It brings us back to the empowered aspect of surrender, where you can have a deep recognition that there's really nothing that you have to push. There's nothing that you have to try and push. There's only being. And the work that you're doing has more to do with inner alignment than it has to do with anything on the outside. So I think that's pretty much what I had to say, or what my reflections are for today as the sun goes down. I just kind of wanted to get on here and just share some of this with you, and share some of the excitement that I have about what change is about, and how my life change is really leading me into different aspects of personal transformation that for on some level I didn't even really expect. And I'm having pleasant surprises about what life is showing me and where it's taking me. And had this come 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't know that I would have been ready inside, because I was still working with some aspects of my own self-empowerment, my own ability to recognize my value, my ability to really align my energy, and perhaps even recover from that previous burnout from 10 years ago. So that kind of gives you a timeline of how long recovery can take. And it's not like, as a projector, you're burned out and life totally stops. There are all kinds of things that happen. You just don't stay in bed. Well, you can stay in bed if you feel like you need to for long periods of time. But, life goes on, but you'll notice that things will open up more as you begin to align more and to step into your own power. And maybe this is also a message for all the other energy types, because it's the same principle all the way around. It's just that projectors seem to need to practice that on a very deep, or know that and live that on a very deep and intimate level. So my arm is getting tired holding this phone. I'm going to sign off for now, and perhaps I'll even get over here before the weather gets too bad. And I can't see who's on the line, but hello. Before the weather gets, I'll try to get over here before the weather gets too cold to do this. And if I feel inspired. And if not, stay tuned, because I'm probably going to be broadcasting from my office. Let me see if I can show you the door to my office. I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to line it up. Oh, you can't see it, but it's right there somewhere, right on the ground floor of the foundation in the lower level of the house. And I'm so excited. I'm so psyched that I'm going to be able to open that sliding door and come out onto a patio and paint and watch the sunset, and do all of those wonderful things right here on this land that we're cultivating and really making friends with. So I think that's pretty much it. Until the next time, be well and be inspired and be yourself.